Well, seeing as I was so happy with the 176 scale versions, I decided to print one at 148 scale. The next size up. We're on 98%. You can see that I had to put supports in on this one as well. But it's looking pretty good. There we go, it's finished. So now it's going to bring it up to the top. And I'll leave that for a couple of minutes just to drain off before I whip it out off the plate and start rinsing it. Look at that, what do we think? First things first, glove on, put that underneath to support it, and I'm going to pop my spatula in under here, under the base, slide it under, there we go, and we're just going to tease this out from the base plate. God, it's really stuck, this one has. There we go, that's released. There we go, let's place it into the plastic container. So this stuff requires isopropyl alcohol to clean off. So there we go, I've got a bunch. I'm just going to pour that in. And that's going to rinse it off. This is one I've already used, so you can see I'm recycling it for the first rinse, so you can see I've got a bit of resin has come down and made it a bit milky. But now I'm going to pop the lid on here and I'm going to give it a little rock and roll. So here's a new bottle of rinse. This is going to be my final rinse, so this is all clear unused stuff. Just going to pop that on. You can see that the gun itself is not losing any more resin, so I've taken most of the waste spare resin off already. It's just a little bit cloudy out, not much. I've already cleaned it quite well, it seems. There we go, job's a good one. Now I'm just going to leave that to drain on a bit of newspaper for a few minutes while I get this via a funnel back into the bottle. There we are, I've put it onto a piece of tin foil because that's going to reflect it slightly, and now I'm going to put my UV lamp onto it to start curing it. So with everything dried off, it's now time to cut the supports off. So got to be gentle, take your time. There's loads and loads of supports on this size, the 148 scale. Okay, and I've got to cut all those out. The only bits I really need to take care of are these bits here where I've got the winding handles, which are very fine. Now if you look at the 176 version, okay, it's a lot, there's a bit of a bend there. Warm that up in some warm water and get that straight. So this is a small version, that's in two parts. Really tricky to do this without whacking those little handles off, but you know you need a sharp knife. I'm not using clippers. You need a sharp scalpel blade on that, and then you know if you do bugger it, you can just put some what's it called, super glue on. The bend isn't as bad as it looks on there, but anyway, we're gonna demonstrate with this one. So nice and simple. The actual supports, although they look fairly thick, they're a lot thinner once you get closer. So just going to hold it and support it. Try and get it so you can see as well. Just literally go through like that. And then afterwards a little bit of sanding if need be. Just got to be careful not to cut your fingers like I did earlier. Okay, now I'll crack on with that and we'll come back to it later. Well, there we go. The gun moves up and down. Not massively easy, but it does. just needs to be tweaked slightly. On the inside there's still a little bit of the support left. Really not happy. So all these bits here, this was the supports I put in on the Voxel print software. Okay, and it's been an absolute pig to get out. It's caused damage in places, so I've cracked it here because I had to dig out supports that were inside. I broke off both little stool heads. There's one of them, get an idea. A couple other bits as well. I mean, the model looks okay, but this is very rough. There's loads of post-processing I still need to do on it. So not over the moon. So perhaps I wasn't supposed to actually print it with supports. Maybe I wasn't supposed to add them in. I don't know. So here we have the 176 version. I'm just going to trim that up. That's going to take me 10 minutes, and I don't expect there to be any problems, because as you can see, when it's come from the designer, there's just a minimum of bits and pieces supporting it, so it's going to be a lot easier. Plus the gun and the body are in two separate parts, so I'll crack on with that now. The thing is, these supports are really fine as well, so they just so easy to get through. They've got really fine tips, so there's no effort whatsoever. You don't have to put any pressure onto the model itself. It's literally straight through. Like cutting through butter. So Digital Taxidermy, where they set up the supports on this one, done a fantastic job, because it's absolutely simplicity itself. There you go. A couple of minutes. The gun is released from its sprues. There's a tiniest bit of cleaning up to do. But very, very little. And easy, because they put in such good supports. Tiny weeny supports. So, like I say, just got to warm that up in the old hot water. Get the bend out at the end of the gun. The job will be a good one. So there we go, 5 minutes to do this one without any problems whatsoever. So that can just pop into there. The job's a good one. 176, far better.